We won't have much time. Days.
Time never has been on our side, Victor.
Before, they were a normal married couple that had trouble keeping company with each other due to Freeze constantly working, unable to properly balance time between his work and his wife. On top of this, Freeze also always construed events in some way in their lives so that Nora could never do anything on her own, because he wanted her all to himself, like keeping a bird in its cage, if you will. And if he did open the metaphorical cage for Nora to spend time with family or friends, he'd become incredibly infuriated that his beloved was shared with others, which would end up driving an immense wedge between them and their marriage. To which Nora would occasionally give Freeze crap about always working and frequently say things like life can't always be about work, or they can't stay cooped up all the time because there's a whole world outside from their home, fearing that they'd look back on their lives to these years and say that they were their best years. Despite the constant fighting for Freeze to stop controlling everything, Freeze would always disregard how she felt and worked and worked and worked. See, the reason Freeze worked almost constantly was because he worked at GothCorp, specifically in cryogenics, and Freeze was frankly obsessed with cryogenics, specifically the part about prolonging life in terms of freezing. Pretty ironic that Freeze works tirelessly to significantly prolong life, given the fact that Freeze literally refuses to live it himself. Because as a child, after learning of the concept of death, he became a person who refused to accept the cards that life had dealt onto him, as seen in the comic Batman Mr. Freeze. In this story, it covers a Mr. Freeze years into his career as a villain, recalling his origin to his hired thugs as he rains icy hell over Gotham, stating that it's the first time since he was a child that life is starting to make sense again.